Hello everyone, welcome to Games by Saul. Today we have coloured lighting. It's pretty cool. No, today is a video on You Have Fallen. You might be wondering, didn't I just do a video on that? Yeah, I did. But today we're doing a different video. I am explaining the game to you. Why? It's fun. I've got 5 things I want to explain. I want to explain how the parallax effect works, which is just the background moving because it's quite interesting. How the unlocks work, because that was a pain to do. How the movement system works, how the effects work, and the effects being the particles. And explain some issues I had with the game. I thought that could be quite interesting to see, so let's see if I can do it in 10 minutes. Let's go. Now. The title screen coming in, I said no. Right, so here we are in Unity. If I click play, you will see the background will start to move. As you can see, the background's moving. There's 3 elements of the background moving. There's this pink main area that's moving. There is these black, darker squares, and there's the lighter squares. How does the parallax effect work? Really, it's quite simple. So let's go into scene view and I can show you a bit better. Where's my scene? There we go. So, okay, ignore canvases for now. So, there's 6 backgrounds, which are these pink bits. They move up at a very slow pace, 0.25 speed, and they go from the start point to the end point. The start point is down here, the end point is up there. When it gets to the end point, it resets and moves back to the start point. I'll show you the script for this afterwards as well. So we have the sideways moving parts. They're the lighter squares. So, like the pink background, they move side to side. When they get to the other side, they pop backwards. These ones have a slightly different mechanical way of working because I don't pick a speed. So what I've done is, because I wanted it to be really random, so when it starts off, it picks a random range for the size of it to be, picks a random rotation, and it picks a random speed, and then it carries on. When it gets to the other end, it redoes it. It just redoes it again. It goes, oh, I need a new speed, a new rotation, and a new size, which is why they will never be the same. For the upwards moving parts, which are these darker squares, they're the exact same as the other ones, except they move with a lesser range of stuff, because I wanted them to move slower. But their order and layer, if you can see here, is -7. These ones is -6, which means the darker squares are underneath the lighter squares, which makes them look quite cool. That's better for you. Dark squares, lighter squares. So it kind of just goes like that, which is creating a parallax effect. So if I show you the scripts right now, boom, scripts. So here's the parallax effect. For the start one, it does, okay, if this game object has the side movers tag, it will pick random ranges between this. If it has the up movers tag, it will pick random ranges between this. The local scale is a random scale. And then, on the update, it'll do it again. It just keeps doing it. Keeps doing it. Once it gets to the end point, it'll be like, oh, I've reached the end point. I need to do this. Done. And it has 2 different move speeds, move speed 1 and move speed 2. That's because the sideways squares will move at a different pace to the upward squares. Quite simple enough to see. Scripts are here. Pause the video if you want to do something similar to yourself. Not sure why you want to copy my code, but you can if you want to. I'll go back up here as well if you want to copy this. Again, really simple. Attach it to every single little square you've got is how I did it. Probably not the most efficient way to do it, but that's how I did it. Attach it to every little square and it'll just sort itself out. Just make sure you set good ranges. Right, for the background, just a pink background, really simple way because I set the movement to be myself because I want them all moving at the same speed obviously, otherwise it kind of be weird. And basically it just moves upwards. Float step equals move speed times time dot delta time times dot delta time because every change in the frame, sorry, that's better. Transform dot position, it keeps moving towards the end point, but on the y-axis only. The x coordinates stay the same because otherwise the end point's like in the middle, the ones in the side would go like that, which is wrong. Once it reaches that y coordinate, it goes to the start point and starts again, moves up. That's how we do the parallax effect. Here's the code for you to see. Attach that to the background. It's a really simple effect. So we've done that. So let's explain how to unlock stuff. Here we have the unlocks. So you can see your hero and the warrior are unlocked for me, because this is like a bit of a worse version. On my actual version of the game on my phone, I have unlocked them all. Spoilers if you haven't unlocked them all yet. And what happens is, once you get a certain point, the game saves. And it will say, oh, has they got this many points? It checks at the start of the scene, have they got this many points? If they do, unlock all the ones up to that. That's really not a good way to do it. My issue with the game was the unlocks kept resetting for some reason because the score wasn't saving properly. So my method of fixing it was, so use the player has a high score, we use that high score to see what they've unlocked. If their high score, say, is 250, well, the game knows, well, they've got the 225.1 and they've got the one before that, because they have to have more than that many points, if that makes sense. So I think the warrior is 150 points. So if you have 225 points, you've had 150 points, so the game knows that character should be unlocked, and it is. I had to do a lot of things to unlock to make it easier. So when you click a button, it makes a sound, does that, and little particles fly out, but they weren't very noticeable. Particles are a really fun thing to do, by the way. I would recommend a video by Blackthorn Pod. I will link it down below on how to do your own particles. It really helped me a lot. Like this one has stars, if you can see them. See, there's a star there. Really useful video, and that's how I did it. So you hide the equip button because you don't want them to be able to click the equip button when they haven't got it unlocked. And the highest score is just accessing the save data. So the score needed equals the score from the save data. If the score needed is more than that skin's required score, so each skin has a required score, like you saw, 225 points. If the score needed is more than that, that means it's unlocked and the equip button is set to true. And then I set the icon image and the icon text to what I've set it in the editor. Handle unlock. If it's unlocked, the equip button set active is true. And the icon sprite is set to the normal image and the name's normal, because before it would say you have a black square and it'll say how many points you need. Else, it's the locked image, the equip button's false, and it'll tell you how many points you need. The unlocked. So on update, it just keeps checking the score, because that was one way I was trying to get rid of the issue. It just keeps constantly checking the score. Probably not needed anymore, but it works, and I just want to leave it there because the issue was breaking a lot. On equip, this is what happens when you click a button. You equip the skin to your sprite, and the star animation will play, because I have this script called unlock helper. It's basically a static class. Yeah, so I can't actually use the script anywhere. It's not in the editor, but it can be accessed by everything. So I used the unlock helper to change the skin of the player, and it worked. Let me show you the unlock helper script, because I think that could be really useful to see. Yeah, unlock helper, handle skin, int value, array index value. So unlock script gives it a value, because each new skin has its own value. And then the player's script, it has an array of skins. And so if I give it array index 1, that means it'll be the second skin, which is the warrior. If I give it array index 2, it'll be the skin after that. That's how it works. It's actually quite a nice way. I can show you on player controller and the start. Right, here you go, you can see here. So if the sprite index ref is null, because that's if you just started the game, the sprite index is just set to 0, that just avoided any issues. Else, the sprite index is unlock helper's array index, which is the value that you've been given from the unlock scene. The renderer's sprite is that value, and the player has an array with all the skins in it, and giving it a value, it just checks which array element that value lines up with, the index it lines up with. I'm going to show you that now on the play scene. So here we are in the play scene, here's the player. If you scroll down on the player script, sprite array, and there's 7 elements for it, and there's all the skins. So basically if I give it sprite index 2, it will go to element number 2, because it goes 0, 1, 2. Explain the movement of the player and of the objects, because the objects aren't how I said they were going to be. Player movement, quite simple, really simple actually. Okay, so I'm using touch movement obviously because it's a mobile game. So basically it just checks which side of the screen you're touching, splits it in half. Touch the left side, you move the left side, touch the right side, you move to the right side. You can tap, you can hold it down, doesn't matter. Obviously I need to test out in code when I was playing in the editor, so if Unity editor, which means it will only work in the Unity editor, if I do the right arrow, left arrow, it will move to right and left. If you let go, the velocity will go back to 0, because otherwise it just kind of goes, yeah. And there's a move speed, it moves at that amount of speed, and it affects the rigid body's velocity, because I was using rigid body to do it, because it's smoother. Fixed update, if the magnitude goes over a speed, this is because I was doing like a gravity wave, it was just falling down, and I had to put a speed limit in place, otherwise the player would just clip through everything. This is just making sure the player doesn't go out of bounds. Really simple code to understand, I think. So it gets to touch, and it begins phase. Touch begin phase basically just says when the finger touches down. So when you let go of the finger, it stops moving, because otherwise it would just slide along. Obstacle script. Basically, in the scene, there is a place where the obstacles need to move to. It basically just destroys them once they touch it. They move towards that, and that's how it works. Basically, they move at a speed, and obviously the speed will get faster as you get harder and harder. They move towards that, and once they have the same Y as it, they get destroyed. Easy enough. Let me show you that scene object, just so you understand. Yeah, I called it the eater. So see here, once they get to that, it destroys. Here's the eater script. As you can see here, it doesn't work for some reason. I still don't know why it didn't work. I'm going to comment it out, because you don't need that. Basically, I've made it so when the obstacles get there, they'll destroy themselves. I made it stay a set amount above the player, because that works better. Explain the effects. Okay, simple enough. The player has a particle effect. He has move particles, which are like this, and they kind of, obviously because the player spins, they spin with them, because it's really nice particles, and it works really well. They're at like random sizes, and they fade off because of the gradient. I can show you the color gradient. If you want like a proper tutorial on particle effects, put down in the comments, I can try and do one. Death particles. This is my own shape. Basically, it's just this shape, and they go off in random directions, and they just go. I think I made it so they bounce as well. They do bounce. If they were next to if you die next to an object, you might notice the particle effects actually just bounce, and they go everywhere. If you're wondering what this little thing is, by the way, it's a shield, because I made this when you go on an ad, you have a shield for 3 seconds to show you that you're invincible. Easy enough. Let me show you a obstacle, because they also have particle effects. So this is my own shape again, kind of like a lightning, because it looked quite cool. It just goes on random directions, and the size will just decrease over time, and they go out of existence. Really simple thing to explain the effects. The thing left is the issues I had with the game. There were a lot of issues. Mainly the saving thing, because I've never done that before. Link to Bracky's video down below, because that's what I used. It was really useful. But yeah, the game has been out for like a week and a half, maybe I'd say now. At the time I recorded this video, a week and a half. It did alright. I knew it wouldn't do very well. I wanted it to do better, but obviously I just knew it wouldn't do amazingly. The feedback I got was what I wanted to hear, like it's addictive, which is what I wanted. But obviously it could have done better. And I will do better, I will make it better. I set myself a challenge to make this in a week, and I did. I'm rambling. This video is recorded as 20 minutes long, but let's see how long I can cut it down to, because that's the goal. It won't be 10 minutes. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.